Hello and welcome to another edition of Let's Talk at MobTV.my. I am Aziz Bari, your host for today's program. In this edition, we are going to discuss the issue of succession in Pakatan Rakyat, something that's obviously prominent in the question, who's next after Anwar Ibrahim? This question is very important because apart from a question for the party members, it is also important for the public because obviously they want to know the type of policies to come. Together with us in the studio this afternoon, Yang Berhormat Dr. Dzulkefly Ahmad, past MP for Kuala Selangor, and also the Yang Berhormat Ms. Teresa Kok Susim, the DAP Member Parliament for Seputeh. Thank you, YBs, for coming. Now, to start the ball rolling, just to refresh your mind, last year, a number of PKR or Keadilan MPs resigned or got sacked. But somehow, you guys, both DAP and PAS, came out strongly with a statement to reiterate your commitment to have Datuk Sri Anwar Ibrahim as leader of the opposition. Your take or your explanation, YB?
Well, first and foremost, I would like to thank for having me here, even my colleague, Teresa. Yes, I think those unfortunate events that has happened, of course, with a reason, and more so if it is contrived and conspired, by a political enemy. Therefore, what actually is their design, their evil design, I don't think it will be bending down to succumb.
Well, anyway, I mean, jumping ship is legal. I mean,
it is legal, yes, but not all legal things in federal constitution are essentially moral. So, my take would be no. We are firm on the conviction that this is a collective leadership that we pledge and we vouch together, and come what may, if it is by these few Freddies who wants to jump over, it is their funeral.
Okay.
But insofar as the coalition is concerned, we are firm on having Dr. Sri Anwar as the opposition leader in Parliament, and as well the Pakatan.
Now, maybe Teresa, your take or rather your view on
this it is very clear that this jump ship by the PKR MPs it was sort of mastermind by Barisan Nasional. They all crossed over almost at the same period, and if why should we fall into the agenda of the trap of Barisan Nasional by changing the opposition leader? And moreover, we have worked together, very well. The three parties worked together and very well in the past 3 years. So we think that we should just continue to support Anwar to be the opposition leader.
Despite the fact that the party that he's leading or rather is no longer in the majority.
It doesn't matter. I think we have come to the stage where three parties have collective leadership. We apply consensus in our decision making. And I think this is more important rather than we are not competing against each other on the post of opposition leader or anything. So we think that it's fine for Anwar to continue to be the opposition leader.
But what it is, I mean, to sum that position, or rather the way that DAP and PAS reacted to it shows that somehow that the position of Anwar in Pakatan is rather indispensable. You got no one else to lead you.
That perception may be, you have your right to your perception, and the entire rakyat, have their, that perception. I think perhaps it goes without saying that there's been all along, the perception that Anwar is the bridge between us, and
We'll come to that
the gluing factor. But the fact remains that it's a kind of a tacit kind of understanding, unwritten, that he has all along, leading the opposition right from Barisan Alternatif to the now, Pakatan Rakyat. So no qualms about that. No qualms about that.
Yeah, and also Anwar is a de facto leader of PKR. So if PKR,
That is another interesting point, because it has been raised many, many times that his position is nowhere to be found in the constitution of the party.
Well, it is a party's, construct.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's a party's construct, and we being bona fide, kind of, well-intended, or, in a coalition that respect one another's
As long as
constitution.
PKR
For as long as,
recognise it,
for as long as they recognize and uphold him as the leader, it's okay with us.
Fine, but back to the question as to the commitment of both PAS and the DAP to him, despite having less seat, that normally the in Westminster democracy, leadership is determined by the number of seats the party is holding.
I think YB Teresa put it very cogently, very nicely actually. We are not here to meticulously and be very picky on numbers of that sort.
Yeah.
And the numbers is triggered essentially by those that have left and that have jumped ship. So all the more, I think we are very focused on our objective. We are very focused on what is, very focused on our objective of achieving, reinstating democracy, good governance, and whatnot.
In a way, I think the three parties leaders have treasured the relationship of being in Pakatan Rakyat. We treasure the mandate given by the people to Pakatan Rakyat in the 5 states, now 4 states, and also the to the MPs. So we do not want to destroy the kind of hope of the Rakyat on us. So we think that there's no big deal whether who will be the opposition leader. It doesn't matter to us. Most important
But at
thing
one
is
point,
to
I
work
think the SP
together
also
well.
made a mistake. For example, in Perak, when immediately after the general election, I think Kit Siang made quite a clear attitude. Rather, he was kind of find it uneasy to have Niza as MP. Only later, after some time, that he came to accept that position, especially when the constitution of the state requires that. So what I'm saying is that the DAP seems to have learned from that mistake, but PAS, I think is still wobbly on this. And
I think you got it wrong. You got it wrong there. I think we have been responding quite well to this new politics, and you see all our responses rather than reaction is one that understand the emerging, new realities and the new politics. And if you pick only on that particular one, I think that's a bit pushing it a bit too far. While on the scores of others, how we have responded to this, and we are very focused about what we want to achieve, and on the issue of who, we are not so meticulous.
Whatever it is, unlike the AP has been quite firm on premiership, but I think if you go to PAS, it has on several occasions position the president, for example, Datuk Seri Adi Awang, as the potential prime minister. And recently, your ulama chief Harun Tayyib has come out in the open saying that it's not impossible for Tunku Razali to become the prime minister.
Yeah.
Well, legally, that is, to me, tenable.
It is tenable. Everything in politics is possible, and politics is a game of all the impossible. But is that the center?
But the point is that PAS is not
the main contention.
Consistent on this. It's not firm, quite firm, unlike the AP, for that matter.
What is not consistent?
Guan Eng, Karpal Singh has been repeating time and again that should Pakatan come to power, then
but I
the
think
Prime Minister
you got to take us
Anwar.
from a collective point of view. What is our collective decision rather than one, someone from wherever, whether it is a youth wing or in this case, the chief, the Dewan Ulama chief. But you got to be taking it from the party's perspective, the party stance. We have all along been backing Datuk Seri's leadership
As the leader of the opposition, and should
for as long as he assumed that authority and that goodwill and enjoys the goodwill of the entire. He is someone is a bit cross-sectional, cross-cultural, cross-racial, cross-religious. And that is the magnetic, that is the unique position he enjoys. So I think no qualms about that again. I mean,